Hi, welcome to Russell Rice Reviews. Today we are going back to bourbon. Alright, so in the last review we talked about Don Papa rum. Now we're going back to bourbon, and today we are featuring Buffalo Trace. And I figured I have to shoot a review before this runs out. It's almost gone. Alright, so what is, as a review, what is bourbon, right? So basically, guys, bourbon is, just think of Jack Daniels. So I know on the label for Jack Daniels it says Tennessee whiskey, right? They don't call it bourbon, but it fits the legal requirements of bourbon, really. Okay, so bourbon is, again, basically spirit distilled in the US that is made from 51% corn. Okay, there. So the component grain, okay, should be 51% corn for it to be called bourbon. Now, Buffalo Trace is a bourbon, and it also has that additional qualifier. Okay, there it says there, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, for your product to be called straight bourbon, it has to have been aged for at least 2 years. Okay? Now, bourbon has no aging requirement. Okay, so according to what I've read, products aged for as little as 3 months can be sold as bourbon. Now, when you say straight bourbon, it means it has been aged for at least 2 years. And if it's aged for less than 4 years, it has to say on the bottle. Okay, so I don't see any age statement all around this bottle here, so we can assume that Buffalo Trace is at least 4 years old. And according to theories I've read online, a lot of people believe that Buffalo Trace is around 7 to 8 years old. All right, so why Buffalo Trace? Well, since I started the hobby of whiskey drinking, I googled what the top brands are, for bourbon and for Scotch, and this is one of those. Right, so you have, I saw on that list Bullet Bourbon, which I have reviewed. This Buffalo Trace, Four Roses, and what's the other one? Wild Turkey. There, and Wild Turkey is available here in Manila. I've seen it. Four Roses, no, but I've seen it from many online liquor stores that try to sell me stuff on Facebook. There have been so many new ones, and they all know to advertise to me. So that's how I've seen it. All right, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so look at that packaging. So more than half of it is gone. I have been enjoying this immensely. All right, there. I'll bring it a little closer so you can see the color, and how little is remaining. Okay, let's get to drinking. Okay, so if you're wondering what bourbon smells like, right? So just remember how Jack Daniels smells. All right, so there's no subtlety, it's just a general sweetness. It's like the whiskey telling you, yeah, I am proudly American made. No subtlety at all. It's just all powerful, in your face. And Buffalo Trace is no different. The sweetness is there. I smell a lot of oak. I smell caramel, but mostly it's just, sweetness, really. There's a I don't know how to describe it, but there's a plasticky note, but I don't mean that in a bad way. It sort of complements the aromas, the scents. So there, sweet, caramelly, oak, and that plasticky note there. But overall, it smells really good. Okay. Wow, I am sweating. Give me a minute. Okay. So overall, yeah, it really does smell nice. Okay, so I keep putting this off. Let's get to drinking. There's this intense alcohol burn. So I forgot to tell you guys, this here is 90 proof. All right. I don't know if you can see there. It says 45% alcohol by volume. So there's this intense alcohol burn when you drink, but it's gone now. All right. So it fades quickly, leaving you with just a sweet aftertaste. That's really pleasant. Mouthfeel is very thick, kind of oily, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but the legs on this thing is pretty thick, you know. So that tells you that, you know, the drink is viscous. So there's a thick mouthfeel, and I guess that's the first time I've experienced that in, you know, from a bourbon. And that's generally what I like about whiskey, you know. It's complex, you know. It does things to your mouth, and we like it when things do things to our mouths, right? So the complexity of it is really enjoyable, you know. So that's what you don't get from cheap booze, you know. So there's this experience, you know, that it gives you when you drink it, and that's something you get from, you know, premium stuff. The plasticky note in the nose, don't worry, you're not gonna taste any plastic. This is well made. It's pretty good. Okay, so nose, well done. Palate, or the flavor, the drinking experience, very good. Finish, doesn't linger for a long time. My tongue still stings a little bit, but, you know, not enough to be bothersome. So overall, a very nice experience. So who should get Buffalo Trace? So if you are looking to what do you call this? Looking to get a better bourbon experience, because so Jack Daniels and Jim Beam are, you know, those are on the budget bracket, you know. So Buffalo Trace, Bullet, Wild Turkey, Four Roses, they are in the mid range, right? So not special really, but beyond, you know, budget, beyond basic, right? So it gives you a slightly different, better experience. Plus, if you are the kind of person who gets bored with drinking 40% ABV spirits, then, you know, go for this one. It's 45% ABV, so I'm sure you guys will appreciate the extra kick. All right. So yeah, so how much is Buffalo Trace? Buffalo Trace is, for most retailers, you get it at 1,700 to 1,800 price range there. So for you, that's in pesos. So for you non-Filipinos, that's around $40-50 there for a 700 ml bottle. So this is 700 ml. Okay. Um, is it worth it? Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's a great whiskey. So my recommendation is, okay, if you want to get started get started on bourbon, go for Jim Beam first, because I'm sure you've already tried Jack, right? So Jim Beam White, then Bullet Bourbon. Bullet is a lot cheaper. It's just 1,400 pesos for a 1 liter bottle, right? 1,400, 1 liter. This is just 700 ml, and it's 1,800 pesos. So Bullet is cheaper, and it's also pretty good, And then go for Buffalo Trace. Okay. As usual, I do not know how to end these things, so bye.